Hey, I'm Scott, and I'm an American in Bangkok. One thing that I know, and I want to talk about this, is the foreigners who marry Thai women simply to get their visa. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't work sometimes. I'm sure that there are quite a few people who get away with it. But what I will say is that even as far as, I don't know about now during our current situation, uh, but I do know that for many, many years, marriages of convenience have been frowned upon and they are considered illegal here in Thailand because Thai women will take the money so that you can stay married to them and thus you can stay in the country. Maybe you need to give them a monthly stipend. Maybe you need to give them a lump sum. I don't know because I've not really done all that much research on this, and I don't know a whole lot of people. I know one guy who married for convenience, and basically the girl raked him over the coals, and she was a nightmare. Uh, and I would say this is one good reason to stay away from these kind of things. Figure out a way to get here and to stay here if you can't do it. Um, Honestly, I never really considered it because I was like, listen, if I can't stay, I can't stay. That's the way it goes. And I personally didn't want to be with someone that I didn't know and really don't want to be with. Um, and here's the deal: when you get your marriage visa, your O visa, uh, what you need to do is you need to do a few things, like you need to have a map that goes to your house. Immigration can show up anytime. And if they find that they don't have, uh, let's say they go into your house and they don't see evidence that a woman is living there, like your wife, there's no clothes there, there's no female clothes, there's no little frilly things in the bathroom or something like that, they can haul you in and say, we believe this is a marriage of convenience. Where's the girl? They haul you both in. They will question you at length. They will probably catch you, and you will possibly be deported, pay a huge fine, change your. They may, wait. They may do something to the girl. I don't really know, but I can tell you that it's not the wisest move. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because a couple weeks ago, a guy came into the stream, and he was only joking, supposedly, but he said, "I'll just come to Thailand and marry a girl." Not a bright move. Not a bright move at all. One of the worst things you can do. Uh, there's a saying here in Thailand, and that is amongst Westerners. And that saying is, it's not that difficult to get the girl, it's a lot more difficult to get rid of them. Now, you may give them a chunk of money in the beginning. You may give them a little bit of money and then say, every month I got to give you this much money. However it works out. But I can guarantee you, if you say, hey, deal's over, they're going to be like, okay, I need another chunk. And if you don't have that chunk, they can make your life difficult. Never put yourself in a position of disadvantage in Thailand, really, or anywhere else. I mean, but if you're going to do that here, you're asking for trouble. So, I don't mean to sound like I'm preaching, but I found this little article, and it's not much of an article, but it says Thai media reports that this is from 3 years ago, that police are investigating thousands of cases, thousands, where Thai women accepted marriage offers from foreigners they never met to make money. The money was offered by agents and was as little as 3,000 baht. Now, to me, that seems a bit. I don't know. Listen, for a woman to take that to marry you, she's got to be pretty desperate. It says here the Udon Thani Immigration Office has identified 193 foreign men who have faked their marriage with Thai women to be eligible for a 1 year resident visa. Most of them are Indians, and the rest came from Nigeria, Nepal, Cameroon, and Iran. An official from the office said these 193 foreigners would see their visa revoked soon. Now, thankfully, this was about 7 years ago. Thankfully, though, um, it doesn't say anything about there being any Westerners. But I would just say, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but I would say if you really want to stay here, figure something out. I know it's not easy, especially nowadays. I know, I know, I know. I've had my ups and downs. Remember, I've been here 26 years. It hasn't always been easy. The past, say, 10, 12 years, 15 years has been really more than that even. I'd say 8 plus 8, 16 years, at least 16, 17 years out of the 26 have been a piece of cake. Haven't had any problem at all. In the beginning, it was a little more difficult, but those were the days when you just can get a tourist visa, cross the border, come right back in, and you could get a 1-year tourist visa or whatever you wanted to get. And then, you're good to go, but that is no longer the case now, and especially with what's going on in the world with the COVID, it's much more difficult. So really, there's a reason why immigrating is difficult. It takes time, money, perseverance, smarts, a little bit of knowledge here and there, and it takes a bit of grit too. You got to stick with it. You need that stick-to-itness. If you don't have that, if you start having some problems and you go, this is too much trouble. And I'll tell you what, in the past few years, there's been a lot of foreigners who have packed up and gone home. And I know one in particular who was basically just getting by. Like scraping by. He really was in a bad way. But, he had a girlfriend, and they were living together. And, he had a fairly comfortable life. He went out and, it wasn't all that bad, but he didn't really have a whole lot of spare dough, which, I can relate to. There's times when I don't, there's times when I do, but he was really kind of down on his luck, and he left and went back home for a trip, and then he just thought, you know what, I just don't really have all that much money, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to stick it out here. It's going to be rough. I can stay home, and I have a safety net, and he had a house back home. So he decided to pick up. He said to his girlfriend, goodbye, sorry, bye-bye. And he left and moved back, and that was the end of him. And that's happened many, many times over. And it's understandable. Things change. The only constant in the world and in life is change. That is the one constant. So, you either figure out a way, or you try to live within their guidelines. If you don't like their guidelines, then you don't have to live here. There was another person who some people may know, that had been in my streams quite often, and he was constantly complaining about how, I don't want to get a retirement visa. I don't want to get a retirement visa. I can get one, but I don't want one. Why can't I just get a tourist visa? I don't want to tie up that much money, yada, yada, yada. I said, it doesn't matter what you want. It really doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you want. It matters what immigration requires from you. Nobody wants to stick a bunch of money in a Thai bank account and just let it sit there and go, well, I can't touch it. People don't like that. If you got ample amounts of an ample amount of funds, okay, it's not all that big of a deal. But you're still tying up that money. It's not like you're making an arm and a leg off of it. You're not getting rich off of letting it sit in the bank. So people don't particularly like that. But you know what? It's a requirement. You have to do it. And if you don't do it, if you don't do whatever is necessary, whether it's putting money in the bank or abiding by some regulation that you think is inane, guess what? There's going to come a time when they're going to tell you, guess what, buddy? This is your last chance. Either get a proper visa or get out of here. Just because you have a visa doesn't mean that you have the appropriate visa. In my case, I've had retirement visa, marriage visa, and media visa. Okay, and you know, things change, and you go with the flow, and you do what you got to do, and you do what is appropriate within their guidelines. That's about as simple as I can put it. You stick to the rules, and in Thailand generally, if you do you don't make waves. Don't make waves. I'm going to leave you with this, and there's an old story, and I believe I've told this to some people before, but there's two women work at the same company in a Thai company. One woman is a sweetheart of a woman, but she's a lousy employee. She's late. She doesn't do a good job. Uh, but the other woman does a great job. She's fantastic. She comes in early. She does a great job. However, she's extremely rude. Guess who they give the boot? You figure it out. It's not difficult. Anyway, that's all I have. Please leave a thumbs up. Please share. Please comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Choke D, the jerk and my. That's good luck and see you later.